the new RBI M2M norms, I have with me Mr. Rajkiran Rai, Managing Director and CEO with Union Bank of India. Mr. Rai, good morning. This is Nikunj Dalmia from the Mumbai studio. Thank you for finding time to join us.
Very good morning.
What do you think? This is more like an accounting move from Reserve Bank of India, because ultimately, if you have to extend your losses for 4 quarters, you may get some relief in this quarter, but that does not really compensate for the loss which banks would have had in the current quarter because of the uptick in bond yields.
Actually, the provisions are there in this quarter also. So it is a good relief. Actually, since we had taken the full provisions in December, about 50% of that I can write back, because 25% in December and 25% in March quarter. So it leaves me with about 50%. If you take my numbers, our mark-to-market provisions were 444 crores in December quarter. So that means about 222 crores of provisions I get back in this quarter. And again, this quarter provisions are slightly less than last quarter. I will not be able to give you the number now. But then there also I have to make only 25% provision. So we need to keep in mind this quarter is a bit heavy quarter for us by number of provisions what we have to make in this quarter because of slippage of all these SDR, S4A accounts. So that gives us a good relief in this quarter.
Right. So could you quantify for us what kind of provisioning are you accounting for in terms of the losses that you may have incurred, and how do you hope to spread that out over the course of the 3 quarters or 4 quarters that the RBI has indicated?
I will not be able to give you this quarter number, but last quarter numbers are published numbers. So I mentioned that we had a mark-to-market provision of 444 crores in December. Out of that, 50% will be able to write back this quarter. That is about 222 crores. In addition to that, this quarter MTM provision, only 20% have to make the provision. So this quarter gives us a good relief. And because of the resolutions which we are seeing in Q1, Q2 of next year, so I think the pressure on the banks will be much lesser, whereas the pressure is very high in this quarter. So it comes as a very good relief during this quarter.
But suffice to say, Mr. Rai, that lower MTM provisioning is going to cushion your profits a bit when you do report your numbers next.
Yeah, yes, actually, we have a better cushion for making NPA provisions, which are much higher this quarter.
Mr. Rai, could you quantify for us that out of your total treasury book, how much is currently in the AFS category and how much is there in the M2M category?
See, for us, actually, like the HTM is the major portion, but then it is about 17,000 crores is the AFS and held for this thing, AFS category, available sale and.
But broadly looking at the 2 important news developments which have happened, first, last week, Government of India announced their borrowing plan, and now Reserve Bank of India has given a relief on how to treat M2M losses. Can I safely say that for your treasury book, the worst is behind because bond yields are not rising, and whatever collateral damage you've had, you would be able to provide them very sufficiently?
It is very difficult to comment on that issue at this point of time because the yields actually have responded to the borrowing program, which is much lighter from the government side. So as we go forward, we will watch this. So we still have certain doubts on the way the yields will stabilize. So we need to watch the monetary policy and other macro numbers before we take a call. So it is very difficult to take a call at this point of time.
So one more closing comment, Mr. Rai. When Reserve Bank of India came out with their new NPA norms on 12th of February, everyone thought that for PSU banks, this is a death knell. They would be forced to write off, and there is a huge, huge NPA which could come out in sectors like telecom and power. So are we in for some kind of a shocker from PSU banks, or you think it's not going to be that bad?
See, at this point of time, I would not like to share any numbers. But then I think a major cleaning of NPAs, because whatever is in public domain I already shared actually, because these SDR, S4A the withdrawal of forbearance and some of the standard restructured accounts which are not fitting into the norms slipping. So it will give a very fair estimate of the stress in the book. So I think this quarter will be slightly heavier, but then we are very sure because the government capitalization which came in very timely will be able to help us to sail through this quarter. And I think next quarter onwards, the resolutions which are going to come through the NCLT and other means are going to bring back normalcy in the banking book. That's what I feel.
Okay, Mr. Rai, we'll leave it at that, and hopefully should see some respite in PSU banking stocks as well. How beaten down they have been, and especially even right now because of the rub-off from ICICI Bank, we continue to see pain for PSBs too.